Juz 7, the Juz begins by Allah mentioning that those who are strongest in hatred towards the Muslims are the Yahud and the polytheists, and those that are strongest in affection towards the Muslims are those who say they are Christians. Allah then mentions rulings about hunting in ihram and commands us not to ask unnecessary questions that can make matters difficult for us. Allah then mentions about taking witnesses at the time of request, at the time of death. Allah then mentions the scene of the Day of Judgment when He gathers all the messengers and reminds Isa of the blessings He has given. Allah then mentions the story of the disciples and how they requested tables for their food to be sent down from the heavens. Allah then mentions that He will ask Isa if he told the people to take him and his mother as deities besides Allah. Surah Al-An'am is a Makki surah that begins with the praise of Allah and Allah refuting the polytheists, for example, the destruction of the previous nations and their claim that angels would be sent there. Allah then mentions the situation of those who worship other than Him on the Day of Judgment and how they wish they could go back to this life and try again. Allah then mentions that the previous people should have humbled themselves when the punishment came to them, but rather they ignored and their hearts became hard. Allah then consoles the Prophet ﷺ and commands him to stick with those who are keen on worshipping him, even if they may be poor. Allah then mentions that He is the only one that knows it unseen and not to leave fools except that He knows about it. Allah then mentions the story of Ibrahim and his debate with his people using a star, the moon and the sun, and how he was free from what they associated with Allah. Allah then mentions a long list of prophets, and if they did shirk, all of their deeds would have been nullified. Allah then mentions that those who believe and do not mix their faith with shirk are the ones that are safe and they are the ones that are guided. Allah then mentions many signs of His power, and yet how people still ascribe partners to Him from the jinn, sons and daughters, and Allah completely negates that He has a spouse.